Hello my dear friends, in this series of learning Vedic astrology, let me in today's video introduce you to a scheme in Prashara Jyotish. A scheme is called Ashtak-Varga scheme, Ashtak-Varga, right? Now the concepts and principles which I am following in all my Vedic astrology videos are from Prashara Jyotish, right? And this scheme is very interesting because see, it is very elaborate. Ashtak-Varga, you can write a whole book on it if you go into the theory, right? But my aim is just to give you a formula, a procedure, simple procedure, whereby you can if you have a computer software to generate your birth chart, then a good software gives these Ashtak-Varga points. So you can utilize. After watching my video, you will learn, and you can look at your chart and you can find out whether you are progressive in terms of your career or not. By progressive I mean that you rise gradually, you rise in status in your career, you get more and more success, right? You can find out this from Ashtak-Varga. Now this is a birth chart, right? And we are not considering all the planets lying there, because in this video my aim is just to familiarize you, just to introduce you to the Ashtak-Varga scheme and how to judge whether you are progressive in your career or not, right? Now as regarding the Ashtak-Varga, there are two categories. One is Bhinashtak Varga, which is abbreviatedly written as BAV, right? And another is Sarvashtak Varga, SAV, right? Now in Bhinashtak Varga, the concept is that each planet, wherever it is placed in your birth chart, it throws some benefic points at other places, right? And the maximum points can be for a planet 8 points, so the average comes to 4 points. And in this scheme of Ashtak-Varga, Rahu and Ketu are not included, right? So the average point for a planet is in a house is 4 points. So anything from 4 to 8 indicates how efficiently that planet will give the results pertaining to its significations during its periods, right? It indicates the efficacy, the strength of the planet to give its results, right? And then the other category is Sarvashtak Varga, which is the accumulation of all the Bhinashtak Varga points. And in a chart, the total SAV points can be 337. Now since there are 12 houses in a chart, so 337 divided by 12 is 28. That is the average for a house for SAV points. Now we generally take it as 30 points. So anything more than 30 is very good, right? The greater the SAV points in a house in a birth chart, that means the planets signifying that house will be more efficient in giving the results pertaining to that house during its the periods of the significator planets, right? Now in a birth chart, in order to see the progressive nature of a career, we consider 3 houses. See, this is a chart and these numbers, small numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, they indicate the house numbers. This is the first house, right? Ascendant, second, third, fourth, up to the 12th house, right? Now in this case we will be considering the 9th house, which is the house of luck, 10th house, which is the house of actions, and this is the main house of profession, your career. Then the 11th house. 11th house is the house of gains or fulfillment. Whatever your efforts you put in, the success is to be seen from the 11th house, right? The outcome of your efforts. So these three houses, 9th, 10th and 11th, will show us how progressive you are in your career or you are not, right? Now for this we look at the SCV points, right, in these three houses. Now I am considering few charts of known people. Now in this chart the SCV points in the 9th house are 28, then 36 and 41. So it is in progressive order, increasing order. By progressive order means increasing order. And in career, by being progressive, we mean that the native gradually rises in status, in performance, in success, achieves more and more success, recognition, fame in one's career, right? Now these points are in a progressive mode, right? More points here than this house, more here than this house. It is good for the native, but this native has very little, very low SCV points in the house of luck. So that means this native was not born with very good progress in career, in other things as well. But I know this native is very good, is progressing, right, in career, right? Now why? Because there is greater potential here in the house of action, and much greater potential here in the house of achievements, results. Now see, I know this native, and I know that the native is, instead of not having very good luck, is doing very well in profession, because the native is putting the right actions, taking the right actions, right decisions at the right time, taking help of the opportunities which come in that native's life, so achieving good results. But in another chart, the same thing may not give the desired results to a native, right? Because, and the native will blame his or her luck, will say, look, the points here are low, what can I do? But no, that is not right. See, nothing is limiting. God doesn't want you to limit yourself, right? The nature wants you to progress. So astrology can be help, right? You need not become sad or depressed by knowing that the points here are low, right? Now this native has proved, contrary to the fact that there are very less points in the house of luck, the native has utilized all the skills, communication skills, emotional quotient, right, in order to put the right actions, right, and rise in career, achieve it, right? So this type of native is self-made, right? So you can take great help from astrology to learn and not get depressed, right? Because the sequence is in progressive mode. There is every chance, and this native has proved it, right? Now let us take another chart of another native. See, these pens are not very good, they stop writing sometimes. Another native has 40 points here in the house of luck, 33 here and 28 here. Now these points, as you can see, they are not in a progressive order, they are decreasing, right? Now the native is born with good luck, right? And in the house of action also, the points are more than average. If the native utilizes his or her skills and takes the right decisions at the right time, follows the right profession, one can have results. But in the house of results, got very low points, 28, just average. What does it mean? That the native needs to look why there are 28 points. So the native has to concentrate more on taking decisions on this house of actions. A slight mistake will cause lesser chance of success, and the whole chart needs to be analyzed why the points are low here. But the native is born with good luck, so that means nature wants this native to rise, to progress and concentrate here. See that in spite of 33 points, if the native is not getting enough results, right, then needs to be analyzed this house, and also the other house. This house could be under affliction if the native is putting the right actions, right? So a lot can be learned. Now let us consider some more charts, and this will be interesting for you. I am taking two charts of very famous leaders of today. One is Rahul Gandhi of Congress Party, and he has 36 points in the house of luck, 30 points in the house of action, and 31 points here in the house of achievements, results. See, again, not in a rising order. And the main problem is in the house of actions. The native is born with good luck, right, above average, but is not taking the right actions at the right time, not taking the right decision, making the right decisions. So there is fault in this house of action, right? And in the house of achievement, if the native corrects this house and also analyzes the other problems, then the native can achieve still better results. Chance is there, right? Because the points here are more than the 10th house, right? But the native has greater potential, born with greater potential. So the native has to scrutinize, analyze that how that native, by correcting his actions and his decisions and his mode of working, the native can do a lot better, right? Now let us take as a last example for this video, I will consider the chart of our present Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and in his chart he has 33 points here, 34 here, and 41 here. See, these points are in progressive order. Now the native has much greater chance of getting favorable results, and we know in reality also the native is successful in the second time, won the elections, and is very popular. Now we are not judging here whether the native is taking the right actions in favor of the masses of this country or not. That is not our aim here, right? We are just discussing that for himself and for his party, because leaders, they are more concerned with their parties. So for himself and for his party, his career in politics as a leader is progressive, and the native is putting the right efforts here much more than the potential with which he was born, and is getting much better results. Since he is getting much better results, becoming more popular, being more having more strength as a leader, popularity, right? So that is because of taking the right actions at the right time, right? Whether those actions are good for the people or not, that is another matter. We are not going into that. But for himself and for his party, native is doing very well. It is progressive, right? So such natives which are getting much more results than with what they with the potential they are born with, they are self-made, right? Lot depends on their efforts. I hope you like this video and you will learn how to scrutinize your chart and see where the problem is. If there is any problem as regard to the progress in your career, you can correct it, right? Thank you for watching.